Hey guys, this is Jenny. How's everybody doing today? I'm sitting on the front porch and it is windy as hell today in Oklahoma. So I apologize if you hear banging and clanging. It is garbage bins blowing down the street because today was trash day. And, but yeah, I just really wanted to talk to you guys about pain and I'm talking to people out there who feel stuck in their pain. And because I'm finally having some really huge breakthroughs after healing through a terrible ending in a terrible karmic relationship, but I'm finally having these huge breakthroughs. You can probably see the light in my eyes differently than my past videos because I am having breakthroughs. Hello. So, and the neighbors are going to drive by and watch me, but that's me facing my fear of being seen. So, how to make pain work for you? So, we live in a society now where when you feel pain, first of all, God forbid we let ourselves feel anything, right? Because we live where we can have instant gratification. We can click that Amazon Prime button. We can turn on a show. We can have the TV going and we can have our phone ringing and all of our social media apps, 5, 6, 8, 10 different social media apps going off, work calling, kids screaming, spouses needing shit, errands to run, stuck in traffic. Like, life is noisy unless you intentionally make it a way for it not to be, right? And then you want to throw substances in there, drinking. That's the easiest thing that there is to reach for. Either way, that's another reason why my skin looks different and my eyes look different, because I've recommitted to sobriety after several spin-outs this summer. After 4 years of being sober, and this year has been a fucking bitch. I'll just say that. But it doesn't matter what happened. The only thing that matters is now. But I've had some big breakthroughs, and here's how you let pain work for you. You have to sit with it, which means you have to be aware of your emotions. Your emotions are a beautiful thing. They are a gift. They are your GPS system that lets you know when something's not right or when something's wonderful. That's how you learn about yourself, what you like and what you don't like, what you're comfortable with, what you're not. Therefore, what boundaries to set, what not, what kind of friends you want to have, what kind of dynamics in your friendships you want to have, what kind of spouse you want to attract into your life. How are you going to attract those things if you don't know yourself? You need to know you. Well, pain sucks, okay? It does. But it is a tremendous catalyst for growth and expansion. If you sit with it and if you can use it in that way. So when I am feeling tremendous heartache, and here's what I learned about myself, I was bypassing wanting to feel a lot of that heartbreak, right? Could not believe I was drinking again after 4 years of being sober, and I even published that in my memoir about my journey to sobriety, and a lot of people looked up to me for being sober, and I used to use a lot of drugs, and I drank heavily for 15 years, and so I was so ashamed that I was drinking again. Well, woke up hungover again, third time this week. I fucking cannot believe I am back in the cycle. That's me being real, and I'll talk more about that in later videos and how to get back to sobriety. I'll be vulnerable. Shit, last night was so hard. I was like, oh, I want the burn in my throat, I want to feel buzzed, and I was like, no, what are you really feeling? That's a secondary emotion. Really sit with what you're really feeling. And then I let the anxiety, and then I was like, oh, I'm anxious. I didn't realize I was anxious. See, that's why it's important to sit with your emotions. It's so easy to reach for shit and have instant gratification with notifications constantly going off. So allow yourself to feel it. This is what previous versions of myself in so many different chapters of my life. Sit with it. Cry. Be fucking mad. If someone did you wrong, if someone cheated on you, if someone did whatever they did to you, it hurts you. But really sit with what was it that hurt. When someone said this to me recently, Teal Swan has helped me tremendously. So if you want to learn more videos, I will share with you where I got these things from. Teal Swan, TEAL SWAN. Her work has also been a remarkable catalyst for my for my healing journey as well. But feel your emotion and ask yourself, what is the root of this pain? And I thought the root of the pain was in that relationship that I found out he was with someone else our entire relationship. Not counting the fact that I'm ashamed to admit that I had allowed him to use, one of my credit cards to finance his equipment for his lawn service. I trusted him. I believed in him. I held a vision with him. And whenever he got caught in his double life, and he knew that he took advantage of my kindness, he knew he had a whole double life whenever, these things were talked about. And when he got caught, he not only decided that he didn't owe me a thing, he sold half of the equipment, put half of that cash in his pocket, and completely blew off the entire debt. Not only that, but he also put a $2,000 appliance on there for his house. Potting soil for his flower beds, shit that was not even related to his business, right? I can talk about it now because I am 99.9% over it. But here's how I got over it. Sitting with my pain. I thought it was, of course it fucking makes me mad. Of course you wasted almost 2 years of my time. You know, you lied, you this, you that. For me, the biggest source of pain that I felt was, I thought it was that I got cheated on. Because it's happened to me in the past with several other relationships with men. But when I really got to the heart of it, like what brought me to the point of needing to desperately to sit with this was the misery of my fucking drinking cycle. Like, what are you doing? Like, it is taking money out of your things that have been really tight this year. I've been building the hell out of my online businesses. And like, for every dollar I've earned, I've reinvested 3 to grow and expand in 32 different countries with all 4 of my Etsy shops. And then it was just like, you know, here you are again, hungover, wicked hungover, pissed off that you spent $40 where it was you blew it out in the wind, and you could have done so much with that. There are things you need, you know, and this is not conducive for it's not in alignment with anything that you're doing with your life. Like, that pain was enough for me to sit and just cry and have a big wake-up call and just say, you know, why are you doing this? Because you were sober for over 4 years, and that was the greatest miracle you'd ever done for you by choosing to be away from drugs and alcohol. There's nobody in this planet that's worth spiraling about like this. Like, what is really the root of the pain? And I thought that it was, and so for me to actually sit with it, I realized the root of the pain wasn't that he cheated on me, because that has nothing to do with me. It's a choice for someone to cheat. He did that. He showed his ass. He cheated. He stole $10,000 of equipment on my credit, left me with that debt to carry. Or manifest my way out of, depends on how I can choose to look at it. But I realized the root of my pain wasn't that. He did all of that's his karma. He's got to live with that. He can choose to live with it or not. If he's not going to come back, or I can't wait for him to come back around and apologize or acknowledge who he is or what he did or what kind of damage it did in my life or hit my credit. I can't wait for any of that from him, just like I couldn't wait for that from any of my previous abusers in life, and I've had multiple. I can't wait for any of that for myself to feel better, because let me tell you, the thing about manifesting and the quantum field and vibrations and frequencies is it only recognizes frequency. And that's your emotional vibration. There's an emotional vibration scale that's available in Abraham Hicks's, many of her books. Also, look her up on YouTube. I'm sure it's on there as well. That's also the quantum field with Joe Dispenza. It's out there everywhere. Just look up the emotional vibrational scale Joe Dispenza or emotional vibrational scale Abraham Hicks, and you can find it. But the frequencies emotionally that I was feeling with guilt and rage and hate and self-hate and blame and all these things were so low on the frequency scale. And I'll hear these teachings, you know, and this is why I wanted to shift out of this. It wasn't to hurry myself up or gaslighting myself to say, you know, oh, that didn't hurt, you didn't have a reason to hurt. No, it was to understand myself. Like, really, in order to transmute out of a certain emotional frequency, like for me anyway, I had to feel like that part of myself was validated. And so I sat with it, and I was just like, what is, of course it's a slap in the face. Like, I fucking trusted you. I believed in you, blah, 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 blah. Like, of course it's a slap in the face. You disrespected me. You never apologized. You didn't own any of that shit. You know, like, why do I need to pay for, you know, your business equipment and your appliances and also get cheated on? And it's not even, oh, sorry, dude, I got caught. I was in a bad situation. I was in a bad headspace. Nothing. Like, nothing. So that's on him, though. And I'm past it now, because the root of my pain, the root of it was my powerlessness. When I got with that, when I was like, why are you so hurt about the fact that this guy cheated on you? That was a gift that truth came out. You would have continued to invest in him. You would have continued to be available for him. You would have continued to be ensuring your intimacy with him. You would have been continuing to do all these things. That was the greatest gift. And you know that you have blessings way bigger than $10,000 that are unfolding in your life. Thank God you didn't get pregnant. Thank God you didn't get married to him and didn't move in with him like he was begging you to do for months. Something told you something wasn't right. You listened to your intuition. Guess what happened? That fucking sucks. However, that I realized once I sat with my pain, and that's what I'm saying, sit with your pain. Sit with it. When somebody hurts your feelings, sit with it. When you feel triggered, sit with it. Don't have a knee-jerk reaction, which is hard. It's hard. You got to train yourself. Sit with it. And I had to sit with it, and I had to ask myself, like, finally, because I was like, this whole drink thing ain't doing it. Like, I'm going to miss out on some big ships if I don't get my shit together immediately and and sign a contract for sobriety, do whatever it takes. Well, I realized that the root of my pain was my feeling of powerlessness. I feel powerless to actually not be cheated on because and then I was like, that's the root of, and then I was like, why do you feel that way? And I was like, well, because I've been cheated on by every single fucking man I've been with. Okay, well, you're the common denominator of that scenario. I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm not victim shaming. Please hear that. Learning to detach yourself from the emotional part of it, like your higher self, and being able to look at, and you can see cycles in your life, right? So being able to look at, but gently, with love, and just saying, well, but you're the common denominator of all these different relationships. Now, we can believe one of two things, because we choose what we believe. Our beliefs are we can reprogram anything we want to. We can reconfigure every single belief system that we ever had. Is it work? Yeah. Are you worth it? Yeah. Do you want to change your life? Do you want to change outcomes? Do you want to change trajectories of your life? Do you want to rewrite scripts? Do you want to have different experiences? Yeah. You can do it. So being gentle enough with myself to say, we can believe one of two things. We can believe, one, we're perpetually fucking doomed, unworthy of being loved, unworthy of being chosen. We're horrible in bed, or we're just this awful, terrible person that just deserves awful things in life. Or maybe we have a cycle from a subconscious belief system that it's subconsciously it's directing the narrative of the kind of person that you choose as a partner. And it is solely to eliminate a wound that you have within you that needs to be addressed. And in that case, all he is one more player in your movie. It had nothing to do with him. He came across your path as a teacher. Yes, you knew better than to offer your credit. You knew better. Your intuition said something was not right. It did for a long time. There you were, still with him, still trying to be enough, still trying to prove yourself, still tolerating bullshit you should have never tolerated. All of that is on you. Not victim shaming, but also, there's another thing that I've learned is that when you blame other people, you give your power away. You give your power away. You choose to give your power away when you have your finger pointed out at everybody else. I could go boo-hoo for how many more weeks and how many more months of my life, with my life on hold, boo-hooing about all this stuff, or I can say, how can I stand in my power and take my power back? And how can I learn these lessons? And how can I let it make me the kind of woman that does not bat an eye at $10,000? How can I let that? Because it also shone a light on me and my belief systems about lack and limitation and poverty and worthiness and deserving and my ability to manifest and my powerlessness, and how much powerlessness was infused in all these belief systems that I had about myself and life and what I'm capable of doing and how hard I have to work to do it and all these hoops I have to jump through to do it. So I'm saying this turned out to be something beautiful that happened in my life, even though it was terrible, and I don't wish it on anybody. But I just want to say, when you feel that pain, sit with it. When someone really makes you mad, when someone really makes you, oh, not only that, but I found the root of that pain with all those different guys from all those different cycles. The root of all that was my dad and the abuse that I went through him with him as a child. That's it. Well, I can heal through that stuff. All I got to do is just tweak some things inside of myself, and I get to choose what I do want to believe about myself. And it taught me that I've never really set certain parameters and belief systems around relationships, or really even sat with myself long enough to know what it is that I do need. What are my needs? How do I know what my needs are? How do I know what kind of partner I want? Do I even know myself in these different areas? Well, gosh, maybe I should really take time to do that before I get into another relationship. Oh my God, I'm in a whole different chapter of self-love. This was a great gift. It can be a gift. You don't have to stay in a place of victimization. You don't have to stay, and I'm not saying that your pain is not like, I have been through some horrific shit in my life. I went through, from the time I was 3 till the time I was 11 years old, my dad sexually abused me. I was kidnapped and I was raped when I was 20 years old. Years after that, I went through, and that was from small town Oklahoma, mind you. Years after that, I, because of my choices, stayed. And do you think having all that unhealed trauma, severe trauma, led to wonderful, fruitful, marvelous relationships and dynamics in life with really great self-loving decisions? Hell no. The consequence of not healing. Drugs and alcohol for years, and repetitive cycles of picking losers and assholes and abusers and abandoners, and men who either wanted to tame me like a horse that were abusers who saw me as a challenge, or men who had mommy issues that wanted me to walk them on a dog leash. I got either or, and I'll talk more about that in a different video, as far as divine feminine and masculine, and what happens when you don't learn to do things in a certain way with your power and healing and your heart chakra. Anyway, I just wanted to say that. Sit with your pain. Sit with it. You're not alone in it. It's not going to kill you to sit in your pain. I'm telling you right now. That is the only way out of it, is to sit with it. Drinking will only delay the process. It will only make it worse. I promise you. Drinking will not fix it. How many times this summer did I say, I'll think about it next week. I just want to have fun. Fuck, I didn't have a margarita for 4 years. I just don't want to think about it right now. I haven't had Cabernet Sauvignon for 4 years. I don't want to think about it right now. I haven't had a shot of apple vodka for 4 years. I don't think about it right now. I don't want to think about it right now. I want to have fun. I just, which also showed me that I was not taking care of fulfilling my needs of having fun. I was feeling unfulfilled, unsatisfied on all these things, that I wasn't focusing on me. I was overworking, and I was not giving me what I had been, my soul had been screaming for, right? That'll be another video for another time, talking about sobriety and stuff like that. But I just wanted to say that. Sit with your pain. It's not going to kill you, I promise. Drugs will. Drinking will. Staying where you are will. But you don't have to stay there. That's what I'm telling you. And I'm not saying that you're unworthy if you choose to. But it's a choice. That's what I'm saying.